Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 8 game in my Fubuki, and going over the matchmaking, obviously being bottom tier, you're going to have a lot of stiff competition. Got Cleveland and Atlanta rounding out the radar threats. Um, Actually going to hop back there briefly. Kagero big time outspots me. Z39, uh, we, I believe, have same level spotting. I outspot Leningrad, Farragut, and Gaeta. So there are some DDs that I could get in there and work the typical Japanese destroyer magic. Um, I picked this game again. It's another higher damage game than average, but the positioning that I want to try to point out is how you play, Fubuki, Kagero, um, those types of destroyers where you're playing in front of your team and um, using your team's guns for support while you're dealing with the destroyer issue. These ships, I don't really consider Fubuki a ship that you can go out and pick fights with, you know, enemy gunboat destroyers and have a reasonable chance at pulling it off. This boat is honestly, in my opinion, it's in need of a gun buff. They need to knock at least a second off the reload. And sorry if dinosaur number one is you hear her in the background. She's upset. It's bedtime and um, she is letting her complaints be heard. Um, I swear she's a velociraptor sometimes. But I'm taking a look at my team, uh, kind of getting a layout for, who's going what, where. Um, Things that worry me, this Kiev pushing right up Russian destroyers for the love of God. It's not your job to YOLO the fuck into cap. Excuse my French. But I've seen this about 4 times today where guys have just went in and got counter detected by an enemy destroyer and gone within the first 3 minutes of battle. Absolutely no reason for that. This guy's got firepower for days that I can use to zone all of these enemy DDs out of cap. But you got to give me a chance to get up there. Your boat is so much faster than mine. So have some patience and it'll work out. Coming up here, Gaede, I pick him up and I choose not to actually shoot here. I was kind of hoping that guy would shoot at me. He didn't, so I'm actually just going to try to push him. And I'm going to chase him a bit, try to keep him spotted. He's got to try to slow down to dodge this island. That gives me a chance to get back up here, and in the meantime, my team's just raining on the guy. And that's what I'm talking about. That Leningrad had counter-detected the Kiev. Not even 3 minutes into the battle, he's out. That also tells me that there's a Leningrad back somewhere over in here. So I'm kiting back, and the reason why I'm doing that is I want to make sure that we get the cap. I don't want to bump into a Leningrad, up here, him just coming close around the island, peeking out, seeing what's around, and I didn't want to get reset. So I pulled back a little bit, make sure we get the cap, and now I'm going to push back out and start, restoring that, the vision threat against these two DDs here. Um, Looking at the, my first set of torpedoes, I didn't really talk that much about it, but I mean, they're just on the money. Good night, sweetheart. Thank you for coming out. I mean, and my torpedoes were, 9-10 seconds, they're already up. Um, you can crank out an insane amount of damage if you're watching positioning. Now, while my torpedoes were reloading, I circled back around here because I wanted to get the broadside of this Amagi. So this one, I'm not sure exactly where he's gonna be, but so I lay a wider net out there just to try to get something on him. I bump into the Gaeta, and I actually landed a shot there. But, that's a situation I was kind of hoping he'd shoot and I'd be able to shoot at him some more. But it didn't work out. And I believe I'm actually going to take a Gaeta torp right here. And just catches me. I'm just not quite far enough out of my smoke. You know, that's just the way it bounces. The big one is that if you're gonna eat a torp, you eat it on your bow or your stern, and the reason being saturation. You notice the bow of my ship has turned black. Uh, I will take much lower amounts of damage if I take future hits. Newsflash, I'm going to eat another torpedo later on in the game, and I'm going to make sure that I eat it on my bow, and you'll see the difference in saturation. Apparently I was hungry this game and had to eat all the damn torpedoes. So this Amagi, he's, I don't even know what he's doing, but he's dead now. So what I'm doing, I'm just killing time right now. I don't want to push up and get into a fight with, these gunboats without any sort of support. So I'm just making a slow little loop right around here, waiting for my team to push up as they can. Coming up to the island, I'm getting my guns switched to the side that I want. I thought this Helena was pushing with me, and so I'm pinging for requesting support. And my team split on going to defend or to go to B. I opt to go to B. Number one, pushing in there, I'm gonna have to be dealing with high-tiered destroyers. That Kagero in particular would be a nightmare for me. And right there, that's why you play like I'm playing. I pushed in. I didn't really do a lot. I just came in, spotted the DD, stayed as safe as I could, and my team just did the work. That's really the essence of playing these stealthy Japanese destroyers when you're
battery low.
When you're dealing with destroyers that you can't actually fight head on. You don't have to. Let your team, wear those suckers out. So, I know the Leningrad's somewhere up here. The Leningrad, I've spotted him off and on a couple times, and I don't think he has concealment expert or something's going on the ship because he's spotted from the moon. So I'm not terribly worried about the Leningrad. I've got a Helena pushing up. I've got a Monarch behind me. Honestly, I'm not too worried about getting pushed by the Leningrad. And you see how far I picked that Leningrad up. I know he's fast, but I go on ahead, I smoke up just because this Gneisenau was turning towards me, and I don't want to take a bunch of damage here. I'm already relatively low HP, having taken a torp already. Ganaiza now, I don't know if he's panic turning because he sees the smoke screen or what's going on. Um, but that turn seals his fate. I go on ahead, I load some AP, and you can actually do some reasonable amount of damage with the AP on broadside targets. So don't don't discount it. 3 torpedoes, Dev Strike on Ganaiza now, and I'm just gonna push out. B-Cap's mine. I know nobody's on here, and I mean Russian torps. I mean they got concealment for days, and now you know, I'm basically not really able to participate in active combat. But what I can do, I can spot. Um, Picking this Leningrad up, and this is a boot in the butt. Get away from my cap. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna turn around and rush a Helena and a Monarch? No, it's not gonna happen. You know, that's the power of vision control. Um, Coming in here, I know I'm too slow to get torps off on this Nagato. So, really, I'm just gonna come up here and I'm gonna take a look, see what's going on here. Um, and then decide, do I do I want to, just keep spamming torps through here and make sure this Leningrad doesn't double back, or do I want to come through here and try to defend C? And a lot of this depends on what my team is gonna do. I get spotted briefly by the Nagato. That's just sloppy work on my behalf. Um, you know, that's getting spotted like that. That's just a dumb move. It is a misplay, and you need to watch that. Honestly, I played these games tonight, and I was a little tired. I haven't got a lot of sleep with the kids, so real life shit. Um, my team dies on CCAP, so I pretty much make the determination that I'm just gonna dump torps in here, and then on the reload, I'm going right into CCAP, and gonna try to sort the situation out the best I can. I've got a group of ships here that are pushing in, and I mean with my hit points, if I come across the DD, I'm gonna be able to get the spot, and that's gonna give my team a chance to actually fight that destroyer, and that's really what I'm looking to do, is just give my team a chance so they can actually defend themselves, and um, because honestly, if I'm just playing just for me, this is a bad move. I can sit here and I can just spam torps and yada yada yada. Um, I spot the Z39. I immediately pop smoke because I know my team's shooting. Um, this guy actually does shoot back at me, and you see some of the dispersion that I talk about, that for some reason I get alright dispersion hitting battleships, but it's very iffy when I'm shooting at destroyers. I get a lot of um, one shell volleys, and I'm pretty good with Japanese destroyer guns, particularly Hatsuharu guns, which these are, but they've got like an extra kilometer of range. So there's some going on with the guns that I don't understand, but it kind of is what it is at this point. Looking at the score, 1800 base XP, um, you know, what is it, 109,000, 110,000 damage. Again, higher than average damage game, but what I liked about this game was you saw how I kind of used my concealment to push all of these other destroyers that should be shooting me to pieces, just pushed them all around the map. And most of this spotting damage is actually all on destroyers. That's really juicy spotting damage. So a pretty decent game on the basics of Japanese destroyer play right here. Um, it takes a lot of patience to play like this, and it takes some calls where do I shoot, do I not shoot, um, and there's not always a right answer to that. It's something that you kind of gotta feel out, figure out for yourself. That's why I think Japanese destroyers are the most difficult destroyers to play because you do need there is a lot of mind games to it. It's not like the other destroyers where you're just like I'm detected. Shooting is most likely your best option. Um, so anyway, hope you guys like the second Fubuki game. I'm gonna go see what's going on with dinosaur number one. Hope she wasn't too bad for this video. Um, but I will talk to you guys later. You guys have a good night.